Apparently, the feud seems over as SpaceX has abandoned the Starlink plan that Amazon objected to during a high-profile battle at the Federal Communications Commission last year, and is planning to launch its second-generation broadband satellites. Want to know more? Stay with us till the end of the video. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Elon Musk World, where we tell you all the latest news about Elon Musk and his multi-billion-dollar companies. In today's video, we are going to tell you about the Federal Communications Commission has granted SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk permission to operate Starlink communication satellites at a lower orbit. But the change, according to Amazon, would put SpaceX satellites in the middle of Kuiper System's orbit. The FCC was told by SpaceX that its plans would not cause more interference with Amazon's plans, and that they were still nested plans, and has abandoned it at last. So, starting with how all of this fuss begins, because that's not all. There's a whole story behind it. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the world's two wealthiest men, feuded over satellite fleets. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, has asked the Federal Communications Commission in the United States for permission to operate Starlink communication satellites at a lower orbit than originally planned. Amazon, which is owned by Jeff Bezos, has urged the FCC to reject SpaceX's request for lower orbits. According to filings with the agency, cited by Bloomberg, the change would put SpaceX satellites in the middle of the Kuiper System orbits. According to Amazon satellite broadband subsidiary Kuiper Systems, Starlink proposed two different configurations for the nearly 30,000 satellites of its Gen 2 system, each of which arranges these satellites along very different orbital parameters. Amazon claims that proposing two mutually exclusive configurations violates an FCC rule and forces competitors to double-check the potential for interference. The move, according to reports, could cause interference and collisions with Amazon's planned Kuiper satellites, which, like Starlink, are designed to beam internet service from space. Amazon's official news account tweeted Tuesday, "It is SpaceX's proposed changes that would hamstring competition among satellite systems. It is clearly in SpaceX's interest to smother competition in the cradle if they can, but it is certainly not in the public's interest." The FCC was told by SpaceX that its plans would not cause more interference with Amazon's plans, and that they were still nascent plans. It does not serve the public to hamstring Starlinks today for an Amazon satellite system that is at best several years away from operation, Musk responded on Twitter. In the event that SpaceX's preferred setup does not work out, the company has proposed two alternative configurations. The FCC rules does not expressly prohibit SpaceX's approach, but it does state that an application will be rejected if it is defective in terms of completeness of answers to questions, informational showings, internal inconsistencies, execution, or other formal character matters. That argument is now moot, as SpaceX informed the FCC on Friday that it is abandoning the alternative configuration, claiming it is no longer required. The configuration chosen by SpaceX consists of 29,988 satellites orbiting at altitudes ranging from 340 kilometers to 614 kilometers. As soon as March 2022, pending regulatory approval, SpaceX said the second-generation satellites will be ready for launch. The company's new filing also answers questions posed by the FCC in a letter dated December 23rd. When SpaceX was still trying to get the two configurations approach approved, it told the FCC that Amazon was stalling competitors to compensate for Amazon's own lack of progress. The conduct of SpaceX and other Musk-led companies makes their view plain. Rules are for other people, and those who insist on or even simply request compliance are deserving of derision and ad hominem attacks, Amazon said in a letter to the FCC. Amazon's protest, SpaceX responded, was a diatribe that was irrelevant. On December 23rd, the FCC deemed SpaceX's application for 30,000 satellites acceptable for filing. A 30-day comment period began on January 24th and ends on January 24th. Amazon requested a 30-day extension from the FCC for filing responses to SpaceX's application to deploy 30,000 satellites on Monday. The FCC sought clarification on several aspects of the SpaceX amendment, including the relationship between Gen 2 system and SpaceX's first-generation system, the applicability of Section 25.159 of the Commission's rules, minimum elevation angle, launch plans, deployment, altitude, expected reliability, and in-orbit lifetime, according to Amazon. SpaceX's January 7th response to these questions raises a number of issues that require analysis and potential responses, Amazon told the FCC. Amazon and other parties will need adequate time to review and analyze SpaceX's responses to allow for a more complete discussion of the matter pending before the Commission. Evaluating a constellation of this unprecedented scale will involve complex and novel issues, Amazon added. SpaceX filed a response to Amazon's request for an extension. SpaceX went on to say that, in May 2020, it filed its initial application, and in August 2021, it filed a minor amendment. Instead of campaigning to delay the commission, Amazon should have spent the many months these applications were available for review evaluating SpaceX's filing. It would have had more than enough time to fully develop its comments and would not have needed an extension. Amazon was chastised by SpaceX for glossing over the fact that SpaceX had abandoned the two-configuration strategy that had been a source of contention for Amazon. When contacted by Ars yesterday, Amazon declined to comment. According to SpaceX, bringing the satellite closer to Earth reduces the risk of space debris because they will fall out of orbit faster than higher spacecraft. Furthermore, because the signal does not travel as far, a lower orbit allows for faster internet service, according to the report. SpaceX plans to launch around 12,000 satellites and has received FCC approval for about 4,400 of them, including 1,584 at 550 kilometers, the current orbit of its satellites. The company is requesting permission to launch another 2,824 satellites at the same altitude as the original proposal, rather than twice as high. Amazon will reveal the design of the antennas its customers will use for Project Kuiper in December 2020. The constellation of satellites, according to Amazon, is designed to provide broadband internet coverage from space. The antenna was developed and tested, and it has a phased array design, according to Amazon. According to Amazon, the antenna has a diameter of 12 inches and is smaller and lighter than traditional antenna designs. According to reports, the antenna can stream 4K quality videos from geostationary satellites, which are spacecraft that orbit the Earth at a distance of about 22,000 miles. According to Amazon's website, Project Kuiper is a global initiative to launch a constellation of low Earth orbit satellites that will provide low-latency, high-speed broadband connectivity to unserved and underserved communities. In July, the FCC approved Amazon's plan for Kuiper, which the company claims will cost more than $10 billion to build. SpaceX has positioned the proposed Starlink reform as the best option for dealing with traffic and potential space accidents, which the industry has identified as a growing threat. Cheaper satellites and rockets resulted in a massive increase in the number of artifacts launched into orbit. Most of the growth and expected increase has been guided by companies like Amazon and SpaceX, which plans to launch dozens of satellites into orbit below 2,000 kilometers, which is now the most crowded region of space. In general, it is thought that placing spacecraft in lower orbits is a better idea because if a satellite crashes, the Earth's gravity will pull it out of orbit faster and away from other vessels. Uncontrolled missiles that linger in space for years, if not decades, will revert to satellites that fall at high altitudes. For starters, in 2019, an obsolete Russian communications satellite collided with a spacecraft belonging to the US-based telecommunications corporation Iridium, resulting in a large debris field that is still in orbit, posing a constant threat to surrounding satellites. However, Amazon claimed in documents filed with the FCC that SpaceX's planned improvements could put Starlink satellites in danger of colliding with Kuiper satellites. According to a spokesman for Amazon, SpaceX's Starlink satellites could end up 30 kilometers above or below the orbit. This means that SpaceX's satellites, launched at 560 or 570 kilometers, could collide with Project Kuiper satellites launched at lower altitudes. And this was all for today, guys. What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.